Hi.
Hi.
You are?
I'm Sarah.
How you doing?
I'm
Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
So what's up?
This is exciting.
Yeah,
It's
very
really
excited to be
good
here.
I wish I
meet
could get you a burger or a veggie burger or something, but we don't have
It's okay.
them.
The chai is just great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
My
It's
pleasure.
wonderful. My question for you was really based in the fact that I feel like I've spent a lot of my life bearing witness partly to the Holocaust, which is very close to me and my family, and also in bearing witness in my work, where I work closely with those who are facing cancer. And so, as I am doing a lot of bearing witness, it's led me down a more spiritual path. I wanted to seek that, and I've followed your chants and your retreats. It's been awesome. And as I want to dive further into that spiritual path, I find I start to feel more and more disconnected from my loved ones who are not necessarily doing the same kind of thing. And so I find it's hard to know, how to be authentic and what is it to be authentic. When you're moving towards something and you're sort of feeling, then it's a bit of a contradiction when you're,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And you? What's your question?
I wanted to ask you about spiritual activism, which is related.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that if you follow a genuine spiritual path, eventually it will lead you to this deep desire to work on behalf of other people, whether it's in direct service or serving as an advocate for peace and justice in the world. And I wanted to know what that has looked like on your path. And like Sarah, I wanted to know what you would advise people as they move on this journey from deep practice to actually doing something with it.
Yeah.
No, I advise myself not to give advice. That's the first thing. Bearing witness, let's start there. So when I was in Auschwitz, the first 4 days I was like raging angry, It was beautiful, sunny, the trees were all golden and red, it was fall. And I thought, and the sun came up and everything was shining. I would look at the sun and say, how can you shine all over this place? How dare you? It was really, I was out of my mind. And then one day I looked at the sun and I thought, oh, that's your nature. The sun bears witness because that's its nature. It sees equally, shines on the good and the bad. And it provides life and light and sustenance to all, regardless of their actions. So that was a big thing for me. And then right after that, I recognized to myself, if I had been born in Nazi Germany, into a family of Nazis, and I was raised with those beliefs, I wouldn't be any different than these people, the guards in the prison. Why would I? Why would I? What else would I know, right? And so this compassion just welled up in me for those people who out of their karmic predicament, born where they were born at the time they were, did nothing but create more suffering for themselves and others. And I was so happy for myself that I didn't have to be a part of that way. So the bearing witness was like seeing yourself in the others and seeing you're not better than them. There's nothing about me that was any different than any of those people. We're made the same stuff. So it's an inclusiveness. You seem to be describing that the people in your life are not included in that. And that's not really the way it is,
Yeah.
Remember that when next, you have to honor the karmic predicament of everybody involved, including yourself, and I just read a quote from a really great Lama, Tibetan Lama, who said, the Dharma is for liberation, your own liberation from your own limitations. It's not to make you a better social activist. To do your practice, you have to do it a certain way. It happens that will happen naturally. Because when you see a person suffering, your natural reaction, if you're free, is going to be to try to relieve that suffering. It doesn't have to be a big, heavy, you wear a thing and join a club and do it for everybody. You may not want to give the guy laying on the street $10, but you don't have to kick him when you walk by him, So it has to be real. It has to be like breathing after a while, You recognize that we're all in this together. The thing about activism and recognition of the situation, there's only one of us, they say. When I say they say, when I don't know what I'm talking about. They say there's only one of us. We're all cells of the same body. Why would you be nasty to your big toe? It's a part of you. So when you really enter the deepest states, you see everybody's a part of you. Why would you do anything to create suffering for anyone? Because it's only an apparent difference that you're looking at. So everything comes out of your inner realization. So the deeper that is, the more real that is for you, the more natural everything you do will relieve suffering. And like the great masters, everything they do, even if it doesn't look like it, is for our good. That's the hard part. When you start seeing these crazy wisdom gurus and who do things that what? You have to be careful because this is the dark ages and there's a lot of bullshit out there. But the great ones can do anything, and it still somehow finds out to be in your own best interest. But that's something you have to experience yourself. For the rest of us, we do the best we can, and we try to it's an inclusive thing. It's not like, see how great I'm getting, and those people don't get it. You have to let your heart melt for everything and everyone until there's no choice being made anymore to do or not to do. It's natural to do. We have so much fear. That's why Bernie Glassman, that's what his big revelation was. He could sit on a mat in a zendo. He could bring other people in that zendo to deep experiences. But he recognized that the only thing that limits us is our fear. So he started going out to those dark places where there was fear. Live homeless in the streets, meeting people who you might never, you wouldn't invite them home. But now you're depending on them to help you find food. So you recognize how much fear we have, and that's the thing that separates us from others. So you work with that, and then your actions become naturally for the sake of everybody. And when they're not, you feel it, and then you work on that, and we'll find some way to relieve yourself of that, being caught in that place, That's all there is to do, You can't. John Lennon is people revere him for many things, but I always think he was so angry. You can't, where's peace? Give peace a chance? Yeah, but you can't be angry and have peace. How do you spread peace if you're not peaceful? Sure, we need peace, but it has to come from within, and then everything you do will bring peace. So, then again, I'm not saying you have to wait to act until you know everything. That's not, everything, because Maharaj said, love everyone, serve everyone, and remember God. So that's your practice. Loving everyone and serving everyone is just as good as sitting like this. And, that's part of the expression of what you have inside. So you do what you do. Like me, I'm qualified for chanting and pumping gas. Those are my two things I could do in this life. I don't try to do something else. It wouldn't work. Other people have other ways of doing their stuff. This is just, so I do what I do, and I hope that helps people do what they do.
It definitely does.
Yeah, good.
To say.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I really appreciate that thought. It's a good reminder to me because I am a social justice advocate. And it's hard to remember sometimes to sit with the right intention for doing it rather than just getting irritated and wanting to fix the world. And fix is a really dangerous term.
Sure. Well, the more you remember that this is your work on yourself and that your intention, how you do everything is how the karmas are created, then you recognize if you're in the right place or what you consider the right place or the wrong place, you're creating. So you try to learn how to take the time to be present with everything the best you can. You take it as you work on yourself, and then that's good. If you're doing it from the wrong place, you notice. But the noticing is a big thing. Most people don't notice. They get born, they go to school, they drink beer, and they die. And they never notice that they were ever here. So the fact that we notice that is a great blessing for all of us. And it's the result of our own karmas. Our own karmas, your karma, that you notice this at all.
As you're speaking, I'm recognizing the fear that wells up in terms of the shifts that start happening to yourself. And again, when you were speaking of the inclusiveness and to recognize that it's so important, it's a great reminder because you start to feel isolated, but really you're just cutting yourself off. And it's that need again to continue to let go of fear and just work on yourself.
And there's many ways to work on fear. I mean, many ways.
Yeah.
You find, once you recognize what the issue is, then you can find many different ways to apply a solution to that, or at least a way to work with it. It doesn't have to look this way, It can look any way, But whatever you feel you need to do to get through the day, whatever gets you through the night, that's the best thing for you. So they say.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Don't forget to take your cup with you.
Ooh, great.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a reminder that you have one more dish to wash. That's
Do
compassion
it
for you.
mindfully.
Thank you.
You just trying to tell me something?
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.